Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have singer Mikey Sawyer.
What's up, guys? How's it going, man? Haven't talked to you in a while.
Top down, drive through the city, take it uptown. Whenever you're with me, yeah, you know how to turn me on. Oh, whoa, gotta slow down. You're running through my mental, girl, this love feels just so sentimental. I can't stop thinking about you now. Whoa, yeah. Make me wanna stick around, but I can't commit to you not right now. Gonna take a lot to tie me down.
The last time you were on the show was December 2022, and we were talking about your song Rolling Blackout. What have you been up to since then?
Oh, geez. So since then, we dropped like 3 more singles from that album, Gravity's Rainbow. I think it was Black Pixie and Too Cool to Be Cordial, which are both doing great. I just checked on them the other day, and I was like, wow, okay. Like, people were resonating with this. And that was a project that we completely independently self-produced and funded. And so it was a cool experiment. And we also got it mastered by Kevin Lively, who did all kinds of like Grammy award-winning stuff, and it just was freaking sweet to like take that into our hands and then apply our skills. And we always knew that we could do it, but it was just cool to finally flesh it out. And then that kind of laid the groundwork for some later stuff that we've been self-producing, because that's been a big part of our story for the last 5 or 6 years now, is just the production side and recording ourselves or taking a lot into our hands creatively. So we're independent, so we get to make all those choices and do everything that we want, and nobody's getting in our way telling us no, you know?
And you started, is this like a solo project or a side project you got going on?
Yeah. So I started a solo project. I've like played with solo music in the past ever since I was 15 or 16 years old. But I was actually told by one of my mentors coming up in the game that, oh, you shouldn't start a solo project because it's kind of cheesy to go around promoting yourself. But then that person went on to release several solo albums themselves, and it was just kind of weird. So I decided to go ahead and just try my hand at it. I didn't see a use in changing the name or the direction or anything. It just, in the past, I released like covers or just, unofficial B-side tracks, but I got approved for a project to do a collaboration with Radio Story, who are my good friends in this like EDM project. And so they were willing to kind of like fund the whole thing and get us in the studio where like Kanye West and stuff recorded. So it was like a chance for me to get in there and do something solo and hip hop and like stuff that I'm already into and excited about working on. So I just went in there and did my best Justin Bieber and Kid Laroi kind of. And I really like it. It just feels good to listen to when you're outside or when you got the windows down. Like, that's kind of how I always approach making songs and making music. So
Okay. I've never heard of Radio Story. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
yeah, they're just a brand new like production duo. I don't think they ever released anything before this, but they basically hired me to ghostwrite some songs for them, 5 songs. And it just turned out there was nobody that we could find to really voice it the way that it was written and the way that we wanted to come across and that we were imagining it in pre-pro and stuff. And so it just finally kind of came up like, dude, why don't you just sing this and then we'll just release it as a collaborative project. So it was nice. I basically got to put out a free album and got hired to write all of it. And it was just a win-win. There was no reason not to at that point to drop a solo EP. So it's not a full album or anything. It's just some ideas to put out there. And I let them select the beats and the music and stuff. So I just basically came up with the top lines, and then we went to that studio, and it was freaking awesome. I think they also had like Flo Rida and like some other like really important songs, like number one songs were recorded there. And that's in Denver where I live now. So now I just have access to like some of these iconic studios, and I just never really had that before. So it's like I guess we're solo now.
Now, can you tell me about Apathy Records?
Yeah, so Apathy is something that I dreamed up about 2 years ago now. It first started with me just getting a logo and kind of branding it and kind of sitting with it. But then I think the first thing that I released through that was I Ain't Afraid of No Ghostwriter, which was also just an independently funded song for Misfortune that dropped and came out with a music video and everything. It was super sick. It was basically the blueprint for how I want Apathy to be, because we're a label that can do modern music, hip hop, country, R&B, hardcore. Like it doesn't matter. Like there's no limits with that label, which I'm really excited about. But so far it's just me and Radio Story that are signed to it. I've also been co-writing with this band called All in Your Head. That's just an aside because they're not a part of Apathy Records, but I've just been basically turning Apathy into a hub for artists where I can help them and develop their talent or produce for them or just put their stuff through my process that when it comes out the other side, they might make some money off of their music. Like, because now Spotify has this weird thing where if you don't get like 1,000 streams a month or a year or something, you don't get paid at all. So, yeah, that's not fun, right? But I'm excited because the new solo project, I launched it from 0 monthly listeners, which people made fun of me about for a long time. They would use that to be like, ah, you're nobody. But it's like I didn't have a single song that could be played that would generate a monthly listener because I've never done that. It's always been about Misfortune and the rock music, movement for me. So
How long did it take you to uh, write these 5 songs?
So the 5 songs, I guess the first 2 singles, Wound Up and Titles, I put like the most time into. Gwen Stefani, sorry, that's called Wound Up now. We have to change the name. So Wound Up, basically I put the most time and like brain power into, and whenever I put it through like AI analyzers or whatever, it says that it's like conscious hip hop, which is, I find that to be hilarious. Because that is a lot of what I listen to and stuff, but it was just like very lyrical and just showing what I can do, like melodically and with bars and stuff. And that song got really popular. I don't know. I didn't expect it to do what it did. And then Titles, that's just a really catchy, like just little pop banger or whatever. It's really short. And then the last 3 songs are super duper short. They're basically TikTok songs, if you will. So, yeah. Sorry, to answer your question, shit. It probably took me the first 2 songs like a week or so to get fully done and demoed out and everything. And then the last 3 songs were literally kind of finished and wrapped up the day we went to the studio. Because there were some of the beats that I couldn't use, or I had to chop it up and like whatever and just make what I could out of it just to have a 5 pack. And so I don't know. I really like what it turned out, but I'm excited to play it live too because that shit just slaps. Like the way we got it done, I'm really really happy with it.
Yeah, the 5 songs, they're awesome. And I like that some of them are like short, but it gets right to the point of the song right away.
Yeah, people just want to hear the catchy shit and move on. I mean, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of hooks in there. I just try to jam it with as many hooks as possible. And that's what I try to always do. But like I'm getting better at it than ever. Like I don't know, just for some reason sitting down and making like a sad boy pop project, my mind was set on the Kid Leroy the whole time. I was like, if I can even kind of like sound like that, then I'll be in a good place and this will be good. And I can compare it to like my peers who are solo artists. And it just turned out like more hip hop than I ever expected. Like it's really like trap and stuff. So
But that's good. You should like branch out. You shouldn't just limit yourself.
yeah, it's just unfortunate because every time I try to branch out, like Misfortune fans kind of rally against it. They don't want to hear anything except for the anthemic belting, screaming, you know, whatever. So we tried to like push the envelope and do our own thing and just make our own sound and kind of try to make Misfortune its own genre. Like you can identify Misfortune when you hear it. And that's how it is for like Paramore, Metallica, like those those bands that pop out in your mind, it's because you can identify with their brand and their style and their choices and whatever. So I don't know. I just misfortune tends to do better when I drop it, and I've accepted that a long time ago, and I'll never change the name, and I'll never give up on it because why we've they're just gonna keep dropping hits. I think they're hits.
It's like you got your main project, but you could have your side projects too that you like to do too. I don't know why people try to limit and say you can only do this, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Just for a long time, I just had people preaching to me that you need to make this a full production band. You can't go inviting people to Mikey Sawyer has invited you to like Mikey Sawyer. Like it just doesn't. It's not ideal as having like a full band that's throwing in ideas and it's a group and it's misfortune and it's like it's rock and roll, you know. But I like showing people that I can do this other stuff too because I feel like I've been hiding that or harboring that for a long time because also with rock comes rockism and people not wanting to accept, hip hop trends or whatever, modern trends, pop trends. It's getting better now. Now you're seeing it. So I've just always made music that I believe in and then hope that one day, if it all starts to make sense, like I'll have just a shitload of back catalog that, you know, will serve us great. Like we have a great discography, so.
Yeah, and it's not like this hasn't happened before because Linkin Park was hard rock and hip hop together, blended. You
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and you're seeing it a lot more now. I love the music that's coming out now because 5, 6 years ago, like it could not have existed. Like Bring Me the Horizon, Dayseeker, Bad Omens, Issues. It would have been rejected, or people just would have. It would have been too polarizing. So that's the kind of the walls that I want to break down in the scene is like more alternative ways of thinking and whatever. Because yeah, rock and hardcore is so much about like forcing fake positivity down people's throats, and it just gets fucking exhausting, man. Like, I don't want to live to make music for the internet, you know?
Yeah, you want to be unique.
And catchy and memorable. Because I study the greats, I follow the greats, and if you want to be like them, you have to study them and what they do. And so I try to do that.
And you shouldn't be afraid of taking any risk.
Yeah. Yeah, this EP was a risk for sure. Because I'm like, oh, I'm really pushing it with like like the slang or whatever. I've had people give me shit about that. Like, oh, you make too many pop culture references. It's ruining the songs. I'm like, oh. And I really don't try to listen to this shit too much. Like, I always have been able to be like, yeah, shut the fuck up. You can't do what I'm about to do on this mic. And if you could, I would listen to you. But it sucks. In the back of the day, I used to be really hard to work with, a really bad collaborator. Now I'm like great at it. But back then I didn't want to hear shit. But now I can parse through the feedback that I don't know, so that I can kind of curate the final project and how I hear it in my head.
Mm-hmm. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple of the songs on there. Sentimental, it makes me feel like you're cruising with the top down through the streets in your car, It's like a real chill, laid back song. And you worked with Alex Embler on there. How did that come about?
I did. Yep. So Alex is really cool. I've known him for like probably like 9 or 10 years or more, just through like the internet and stuff. And we've never worked together, or done anything. And he reached out while I was in the middle of putting together the 5 songs, and he was like, "Yo, like let's write a misfortune song." And I was like, "Well, I'm kind of on this right now." I was like, "But I have this song that I think you would sound really great on, and I'm kind of stuck on it. I haven't come up with shit yet." So I sent it to him, and then he sent me back the whole thing recorded through with like the top down, drive to the city, take it uptown. He did all that, and then like the ooh and like the whole verse part. He wrote all that, and then he sent it back to me, and I like learned the hook, and then basically did layers through it, and so he basically took the lead on writing that song, which was pretty awesome. And so I got to adopt his vision for that one and kind of incorporate a ghostwriter, if you will, which is always something I've been interested in doing and stuff. And I don't know, he just had a good pop ear for pop music, so it turned out fucking dope. But so yeah, I got to give credit to Alex for that. He wrote the hook, and then I just delivered it, and we produced it up as a Mikey Sawyer radio story track, and that's that one.
Yeah, ain't that crazy how it works? Like he calls you out of the blue and wants a collab, and then you're like, "Well, I'm working on this song. Maybe this will work for you." You know?
Yeah, I got one for you. Like I got one for you that I hear you on. Like, that's a talent. Being able to just identify somebody's strengths and how they can be a part of a song and what best serves the song. It doesn't always have to be me, me, me and such. But I like that he gives it a kind of a break from just hearing my voice all the way through the project too, because then it's like, oh, something different. You know, that's why I like the song we have with Bradley Walden as well. All the White Lies in the World. Like he just kind of breaks in to the song, and it's like, oh, you kind of can't tell who's singing, but that's cool. I had a lot of people hit me up and say Alex sounds a lot like younger you. He sounds like you back when you were, 21 or whatever, or 18.
Top down, drive through the city, take it uptown. Whenever you're with me, yeah, you know how to turn me on. Whoa, gotta slow down. You're running through my mental, girl, this love feels just so sentimental. I can't stop thinking about you now. Whoa, yeah. Ooh, make me wanna stick around, but I can't commit to you not right now. Gonna take a lot to tie me down.
The next song is Titles, and what I get from this is like someone wants to put a title on their relationship, and the other person wants to act like that person doesn't exist at all.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I mean that song was just literally just, I don't know, just coming up with a cool vocal tone and trying to make everything sit on top of the beat or in the beat in a way that's like really satisfying to listen to. And those are just the words that came out. Like, I don't know. It's just that emotional impact. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the lyrics are kind of like just random stuff that just sounds cool when it comes out of my mouth, but it also looks good on paper, and it's just a song and it's great. And I don't know. It's just what the song was calling for.
How you love me like that, then take it right back. I know you don't believe in titles. Talking that smack, knife in my back, making me suicidal. Baby, that's cap, think I might snap, circling in a spiral. Rat-a-tat-tat, submissive little brat, whatever I say is fine. I'll always crave your melody. Your stunning face is killing me. What the fuck has been going on? Tired of writing the saddest songs. Never thought we'd end up this way. Can't convince you we'll be okay. What the fuck is really going on?
What do you got planned for the fall and winter?
This fall and winter. So basically, we're just like kind of bunkering down in writing right now, trying to figure out what's next for Misfortune. Because like obviously I'm in like solo mode right now, but I'm still thinking about heavy music. I'm still thinking about breakdowns and riffs and mixing and stuff that a lot of people are moving past, and a lot of people think that the music industry is kind of like fucked up, like it's kind of like come to a really weird place. you know, and everybody's trying to figure out what's next. And so I don't know. Like right now, I'm just trying to figure out what's next. And yeah, I we have some pretty good ideas. Like I'm going to Florida hopefully to write with someone that I can't say just yet because it's not confirmed fully, but like it's the plan. And we're gonna pump out at least like 5 to 10 singles um, once things in Florida mellow out because it just got fucking smacked by Hurricane Milton and Helene. So yeah, 2025 is just loading the clip for Misfortune, and then the rest just go from there. And I'm gonna keep sprinkling in the solo stuff too because I can just keep doing my own solo stuff, even like independently of Radio Story and whatnot. So uh, it'll be nice to team up with some other collabs, some other producers, slide on some beats I actually got to select because that's another big part of what I do in Misfortune is being a curator and selecting the right songs, the right producers, the right tracks to work on that are worth putting your time into. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for the next step though, because we're planning to basically keep it heavy. So whatever that looks like to people when they think of Misfortune, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret that, but we're gonna keep it heavy for this next batch.
I wanted to talk to you about a couple things like in the music scene that's been in the news and stuff, and that I've talked to some bands about. Um, have you ever had any experience as a musician with roadblocks and gatekeeping in the music scene?
Absolutely, I'm probably like the poster child for that because there's a lot of people that don't fuck with us because we're like controversial or polarizing or whatever that we have missed opportunities that like we'll probably never get because the scene has kind of become really toxic in that way where the gatekeeping is like don't get me wrong, gatekeeping is a good thing and it's needed for like the music and the talent and the whatever, but some of the other shit that people gatekeep for like personal reasons or vendettas that they have against a person, that's where it gets really sticky and like corrupt and fucked up, and kind of why I'm really jaded about the music industry and I try to stay independent and stay in my own lane as much as I can. But like, yeah, I think that the scene is kind of like eating itself alive in a lot of ways. It's kind of sad, really. Like, who are the big bands that are gonna get put over now in this scene, or the smaller bands, or whatever? We got like Bad Omens and Sleep Token and Bill Murray and Bring Me, and like, is everybody else gonna get canceled? Like, there's not gonna be any more shows left to go to. There's not gonna be any more like music scene. So I just can't allow for that to shape my mindset and how I'm looking at music and thinking about music because I'm just trying to deliver for my fans and trying to deliver for the people that are looking for meaning in the songs they listen to. Because, like I said, the emotional impact, that's what it's all about. And I don't think anything else should really matter, if I'm being honest.
Um, in the fallout of the P-Diddy scandal, how do you think that's going to affect the music industry going forward?
I think we're already seeing it. Unfortunately, like major labels are not giving out deals anymore. They're not approving budgets. They're not giving large sums of money. They're conserving resources and locking everything down and pushing their big catalog acts and doing distribute like doing all this shit. Like I hate to sound pessimistic or whatever, but it's like yeah, the music industry is in such a horrible place right now where it's like utterly unpredictable and you're seeing all these like CEOs dropping out from Warner and uh, Atlantic Records just fired 500 employees and like everything is kind of consolidating and like people have realized that streaming has kind of reached its peak of consumption. Everyone that's already subscribed is already subscribed. It's just like a whole fucking mess, bro. So everyone's trying to figure out, okay, how's the next way that we're going to catapult music to make music popular and make music the main thing that people want to click on and listen to and whatever. So if we get sucked down that rabbit hole, it's bad, man. It's looking bad. It's not good for hip hop. What's going on with Diddy? It's not good for the music business. It's not good for anybody. You know.
Do you see in the future more bands going independent and instead of signing with a major label?
Yeah, I think they should. If they want to maintain the integrity of the project and also not have to be liable to any like lenders or whatever, people that are going to tax you and take a interest rate basically on your songs. It's all about ownership now. You need to own your masters. You need to own all the masters you can. Like that's the new game is publishing. And where can you get your catalog into a state where you can do publishing deals and such like that for your discography as a whole, you know? So yeah, the more that you can control your masters and own your masters, that's that's where it's at now. And then just hoping that you can kind of play the TikTok and Reels lottery and get a hit song or whatever. And that's just going to be the new success metric because Billboard's going away, the charts are going away. Not that it's going away, but nobody gives a fuck about that anymore. And it's not the bar for success anymore. There's going to be a big shift. I can feel it, you know. I think a lot of people can.
Like you were saying, I think it's going to go more in like a do-it-yourself thing where you produce your own songs and release them on your label, your record label, and then it's it's just gonna take out like so much, and you're gonna be able to gain more financially by doing that.
Yeah. And if you want to do a licensing deal here or a one-off deal here or an EP deal over here, then fuck it. Like I said earlier, that's like getting like a free album. I'd rather be putting out an album and getting it in the algorithm and getting it out than just it sitting on my hard drive never doing anything. And it's like maybe we gave up a fairly large percentage of this project, but it didn't cost us anything to make it. So that's just kind of the playbook we've been doing for a while now. Since 2018, when we did How the Story Ends, that was like a mixtape vibe that we threw together like a basement tape, essentially. And then that made us so much back, and we had no overhead that we were able to go and do an album independently with Andrew Wade at the Audio Compound. And that's how you get self-titled, which is 100% purely ours. And then we did Cruel Summer, which was just a one-off EP, which actually turned into an album. Sorry, Cruel Summer is an album that we did. We Are Triumphant, and then we were out, and then we were back to, we started putting together Gravity's Rainbow, and then Life or Death came along, and we did a deal with them, and then we got out of that deal, and it's like, okay, I Ain't Afraid No Ghostwriter, independent. My Apologies Part 3, independent, and then whatever this next wave will probably come out under Apathy. I would think, because, yeah, I don't know. I just have always wanted to be involved in the record label side, the A&R side, the management side. I always told myself if I never made it as an artist, that's what I'd want to do, was like work for a label or be a suit at a major label. But it's crazy. I've seen the paradigm shift, and I've even got friends who own record labels, and I see the kind of checks that they're cashing in monthly and how they operate, and I'm just like, man, I am in the wrong business. Because artists get paid last. It's just a fact. The producer gets paid first, the manager gets paid first, the label gets paid first. Everybody gets paid first, and the artist gets paid very last. But when you're the producer and you're the label, right? So I think I'm just going to keep trucking down that. And then helping the other artists that I can, that maybe they can produce themselves like we did, and they can put out an album that costs us nothing, but I can use my knowledge and resources and connections to get them traction. Go from 700 monthly listeners to 17,000 just overnight, just because we released it properly and we had a plan that a lot of people don't. They sleep on that.
Okay. How can artists be added to your roster on Apathy Records? How do they submit something or what? How's that go?
Yeah, they can submit their demos to apathyrecordsteam@gmail.com, and me and my assistant both go through them and listen to every single one, and we'll mostly always reply one way or the other. So yeah. Or yeah, we have a Facebook page and an Instagram as well. Apathy Records rocks.
And where can we get a hold of you?
You can get me on Instagram at Mikey Sawyer Music or Misfortune Official, or I'm also on TikTok and Reels and stuff. So just make sure to like turn on your notifications and follow along. I'm always gonna be dropping shit.
Thanks for coming on the show. That's all the questions I have. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, Randy, thanks for the great talk, man. This was awesome. Man, just stay tuned. That's all I can say. Stay down. We're cooking always. So.
I'll always crave your melody. Your stunning face is killing me. Knew all along what you couldn't say. I think you're more than just a pretty face. Finally, I need you more than words could ever say. 'Cause I've been insane to you, just like you were to me. Hey, love me like that, then take it right back.